maybe.
What is up, everybody? Welcome into another episode here on Wide Eye Sports. I'm joined by Dalton and Riley here today. I'm on the road, so it's a little different setup for me than usual. Dalt, do we got you? I can't tell if Dalt's frozen. I think Dalt's frozen.
His computer just crashed.
All right, I'm going to pull him off the screen for a minute. We're going to go 2Vs here. We'll get him back as soon as possible. However, as I said before, here we are. I'm on the road. It's a little bit different setup than usual. Yeah, here we go. So, Riley,
Yes.
Bears, number one seed. How you feeling, bud?
Very
Or number
scared.
2 seed. Sorry, not number one seed.
I am actually feeling very scared at the moment. You know,
Very scared. Very
Yes.
scared.
Playing Green Bay for a third time, that would have made me nervous no matter how we looked. But
Yeah.
in the last 3 weeks, we made what is Green Bay's backup quarterback? Malik something?
Willis is their backup.
Oh,
Or
Willis.
no. Right? Is it Willis?
No.
No, it's
He's been in the league a while. But
yeah.
anyways, we made him look like Michael Vick. Christian McCaffrey looked like the best running back ever. And
Hold on, he is one of the best. Yeah, it's Malik Willis. Malik Willis is their backup.
Malik Willis.
That was
I'm sorry.
right. That was good. No, you're good.
yeah,
I was
we-
like, I swear that was it, but maybe not. But I will say, Christian McCaffrey is that dude. I have been saying you've been gone for a week or two, but I have been saying McCaffrey should be the MVP. Like what San Francisco is one game out of the one seed, and he was the. I mean, they had Mac Jones at some point. You lose. People forget this Niners team lost their best wide receiver in Brandon Ayuk. He just never played. Like, I don't know. We still don't know full details on that, but they just didn't get their number one weapon or number one receiver in Ayuk back, who they just paid top end money. So, you know,
And
it's
to me, that makes it even worse because they still put up 45 points, 30 something points on us.
I would say I would be more worried that that Purdy looks so good. Dalt is back here. We're going to try to bring him in.
He looked like a superstar against us.
He did.
The
And
Detroit game, if you just look at the box score, they only put up 19 points. But if you watch the game, it felt like they put up.
Well, they were up 16-0 going into the fourth, I believe. So it felt much worse as a Bears fan. It is good to end on that note of, okay, we got back into things. I'm sorry to say this, and after last season, I think I'm warranted in saying this with the way the Vikings and the Lions performed. The NFC North is not the strongest. I believe we are definitely the grittiest division in that we can compete with anybody on any given Sunday. But if you I do not expect any NFC North teams to win a title this season, right? It's not what I expect to happen. Could it happen? Yes. I think the Bears are the only team that could do it. I don't think the Packers have it in them. You lose Parsons, who you felt you were one away, right? And I really don't. I don't believe that Micah Parsons is worth 2 wins in 5 games. Like that would mean he's worth, 6 wins a season as a player, and I don't believe any defensive end is worth 6 games a season. Do I believe he's worth 2 or 3 games a season? Yes. But this season shows me that the Packers weren't justified in going and getting Micah Parsons because they weren't one guy away. Like, I don't believe the Packers were one guy away. And, the Packers are banged up right now. They've had Tucker Kraft. Their receiving
but a lot of
corps
teams
been
are.
banged. Yeah, no. I know. Tucker Kraft is banged up. The receiving corps has been banged up. They haven't had, not because of injury, but they have no cornerback depth. They have to go get Trayvon Diggs, and I don't think that's going to work out too hot for them. I think he's kind of cooked.
And I think one of the, at least before the last couple of weeks, my biggest hope was getting a NFC West team, NFC South team to come to Chicago. Because in that point, you have a lot of dome teams, a lot of warm weather teams coming to Chicago and playing in the cold. And I feel like you lose that advantage playing Green Bay round one.
Oh, 100%.
Because they are also playing in the cold.
Yeah, no, 100%. That's, you and me, that advantage goes out the window. Better team usually is going to win in this scenario. Yeah. I do believe the Bears are the better team, though, if that makes you feel any better. Unfortunately, with the NFC North is just so weird this season. You have the Chicago Bears who won the NFC North by a 2-game lead, but we're only 2-4 within the division. Yes. Worst record in the division.
I think that's only the second time that has happened.
Yeah, it's like since 19. No, that's a different stat. But yeah, I think it is like the second time. The other stat is that no team, the stat I was thinking of is since 1935, no team had ever finished with 0 interceptions in a single season, and the Jets did this year. To put that in perspective, in 1935, the passing yardage leader had 930 yards passing, and people still came away with interceptions. To do that in the modern era is unbelievable.
I think the record for the least was 2.
I mean, it's insane.
Had at least got 2 interceptions, and they couldn't get one with a defensive coach.
And it's kind of crazy to me because they didn't have like this they didn't allow like 5,000 yards passing. Like they weren't just awful in the passing game, right? They were bad in the red zone passing, but they only allowed like 3,800 yards, which isn't terrible. Like if your quarterback throws for 3,800 yards, you're like, that's good. I'm okay with that. But you're not like all-star. Yeah, MVP. Let's go. Like you never. Yeah, exactly. It's not like they were giving up 4,800 yards and 40 touchdowns. They did give up 36 touchdowns, which is a lot. But it's, I don't know. Yeah, that kind of surprised me. Maybe it was short fields. Who knows? Maybe they were just getting run on all the time. But let us move on here to the playoff prediction part of the episode here. Let me pull up the playoff predictor on my little app here.
How do we do?
I haven't got to do that yet because I'm on the road. I don't have my Excel, so that's at home. So here in a couple weeks, I'll get all that dialed in and dialed away.
Did we have one in the Super Bowl last time? The Seahawks?
No. I don't think we didn't do it.
You mean
last week?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, we did have the Seahawks winning it all. I thought you meant in our Excel, like.
No, I meant because we did that. We did the playoff predictor.
We did have Seattle.
I wanted to know how it was set up because it's set up now.
Yes.
You know, like how our seating.
We did have Seattle winning it all.
And that's kind of crazy. Our seating was up until 3 or 4 weeks ago. I mean, it felt like the Rams were a lock, but now they've just kind of.
Here's my thing. I have a hard time trusting this Seattle team because it's so defense reliant. The defense has to play. Hold on, hear me out. The defense has to play against one division opponent at least in the toughest division in football. I know the NFC North had everybody was over 500, but I'm going to give the NFC West the toughest division in football. So you got to play a team from that. And then you have to play either the Bears or the Eagles, which is going to be another tough game. And both teams. What?
Eagles are the weakest team in the playoffs right now.
That's not true. The Panthers.
I like
it. The Panthers and the Steelers are both weaker than the Eagles.
I would bet on the Steelers more so.
No, the Steelers shouldn't even be in the playoffs. Like let's be real.
They shouldn't have missed that extra point. You know what I mean?
I mean that was crazy. That was crazy.
And then Loop wouldn't have missed his, and then we would have went into overtime, and then I think the Steelers
would have been all butterflies and rainbows.
Hey man, it was meant to be.
I will say this:
I am not a believer. All right, that pastor blessed that end zone. Okay, that is the only explanation. Did you see
Hold on,
that?
hold on.
Before the game,
No, no,
there
no,
was
no. Hold on, hold
they
on.
had a pastor, a Catholic pastor, throwing holy water in that end zone where
So,
the kick was missed.
so I have
That's
two, or
actually
actually, I have
awesome.
3 witnesses that I was watching the game with, and right before that third down touchdown, where the DB slips, I go, man, this is just setting up for some bullshit where Aaron Rodgers gets some fluky, easy touchdown right here. And on that play, they throw it wide open. And I look around the room and I'm like, I told you. And then they're lining up for the extra point, and I'm like, he's going to miss this. He's going to push this wide right. Pushes it wide right. And I was like, oh my God, no way.
Hey,
I just called back to back.
They may have a pastor, but we have a coach.
Facts.
And then coming back down the field as the Ravens get into field goal territory after Likely makes that catch, I look at my buddy Blake and I go, he's going to miss this kick, isn't he? He's going to miss this easy kick. He's going to miss this. And
I
then
had
he
no
missed it.
idea.
And I was like, I can't. I was like, I looked at him. I go, why was that so predictable? Why did that feel like that was like all of that felt like, this is just prime. And then immediately the NFL gets on there and goes, prime Rodgers. Can you believe it? Like,
What if Tyler Loop was like approached by somebody and was like, listen, if
You
it
gotta
comes
stop
down
it.
to a game-winning kick, we need Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs. That is going to get more views. Personally,
And that
Lamar Jackson's got 10 more years, man. You guys Ravens, you guys got all this time left. We only have 1 more year with Aaron Rodgers, possibly.
I pray we only have 1 more year. All right, let's go through the playoffs. Let's look through here. So let's do AFC side first. So we have Chargers at Patriots. What do you guys think? Just give me answers.
Chargers don't really scream like a strong team to me. I mean, I know they're in the playoffs. I know their record is really good, but they are just reminiscent of like the kind of not exactly the Chiefs last year, but like I kind of view them in that way. Like they're banged up in a lot of spots. They've had guys injured and then come back, and then they've lost a couple of games that were just questionable. They have been doing good these past couple of weeks. I feel like they've been kind of slipping under the radar. Not a lot of people have been talking about them. But this game I think is more evenly matched than people think. I believe.
Let me ask you guys, Riley, and I know you have a little stake in this. So, how do you guys view the Patriots?
Their schedule was very easy. It wasn't their fault, but you
consider that a knock against them?
I don't. Maybe just like a small one. When you look at if we're briefly looking at the MVP conversation, the Rams schedule versus the Patriots one, like you have to at least look at it and talk about it. Does that mean anything to you? I mean, I think if you're playing 4th graders versus 5th graders, you know what I mean? It's not a huge difference, but there is a slight are you playing on easy mode or are you playing on hard mode?
Riley, what do you think?
I think the Patriots did the most with what they had, including the schedule, the personnel, everything like that. And as far as the Patriots-Chargers game goes, I think it is going to have everything to do with how Drake May plays in the playoffs. Because at this point, he has no playoff experience. And look at Lamar's playoffs. I mean, Josh Allen's playoff record. You can an all-star
you can
in
say
the regular
Lamar.
season.
Lamar keeps getting screwed out of playoff wins. This is now 3rd consecutive year that Lamar has shown up. Yeah, it's not his fault. I will say he does, overall, he does perform worse in the playoff. This is me getting on my soapbox. We don't need to talk about this. Continue.
Yes. But you see great performers in the regular season fall short in the playoffs, and we don't know what Drake May is in the playoffs yet. I think if Drake May is the player he has been throughout the regular season, I think the Patriots win. But if he isn't performing to that level, I could easily see the Chargers win.
So I will say here, I'm pulling up the stats just because I didn't know. off the top of my head. And Drake May has had one truly bad game this year, and it was against the Bills in the second game. The other game that the New England lost, he had a 102 passer rating. He had a touchdown, 2 touchdowns to an interception. He did have 1 fumble, so 2 turnovers, 2 touchdowns, 270 yards on 28 of 37 passing. So I don't necessarily call that a bad game. I don't call it a great game. 2 turnovers, 2 touchdowns, kind of an average. It's middling game. But that was a loss. And then the Bills loss, he played poorly. He went 14 of 23, 155 yards, an interception, a 62.8 quarter or passer rating. It was not good. So those are the 2 toughest games he's had all year. I don't think, unless I'm mistaken here, they didn't play very much good competition, and that I don't consider it a knock on the player Drake May. Like, I don't think he's a bad player because of it, but I do think it's a lot. So, like, a lot of people are pointing that Drake May is the far better player, or not far better, but has what do you want to call it? An edge in the EPA, the efficiency stats, the more analytic side of the game, and it is a lot easier to do that when you're playing against a lot easier competition. So, as an example here, what were you gonna say?
What is the Chargers' defense like? How does that rank? I don't.
It's pretty good.
Is it? Would you say it's the best defense he's going to play thus far?
No.
Let's see. I would.
Yeah, actually, I would. Out of their entire schedule. Yes.
So the Chargers currently ranked 9th in defense. They're the 9th overall defense.
I would say top 10.
Go. And let's look at all the defenses they've played. The Raiders, not top 10. Miami, not top 10. The Steelers, maybe top 10. I'll have that in a second. Carolina, not top 10. Buffalo, division opponent, still not a top 10 defense. Saints, not top 10. Titans, not top 10. Browns in New England. And we've talked about how the Browns are not the same team at home as they are on the road. The Steelers are not a top 10 defense. They're not even top 15. Browns on the road, that's an easy defense on the road. They play much differently at home. They're like the 20th ranked defense on the road. Atlanta, a middling defense that was very up and down all season. They finished 19th on the season. Tampa Bay, their bad defense. The Jets, we talked about them earlier. The Bengals, the worst defense. The Giants, bad defense at that point in the season. The Bills again. The Ravens, who were actually playing kind of well at the time, but they only finished at 18th in the league. The Jets again, the Dolphins again. So I think statistically, unless the Saints or Panthers squeeze into the top 10, which I'm checking as we speak, the Saints were 16th and the Panthers were 15th. So they have not played a statistically top 10 defense once yet this year. The highest they've played is 15th. They've played top 15 defense.
I think this will be their toughest game.
I think this will be huge in, I don't want to say determining, but predicting what Drake May will be like. Because what did they finish last? Did they have a 3rd place schedule or a last place schedule?
A 4th place. They had a 4th place schedule this year.
And the Bears are in a very similar spot. They had a 4th place schedule. Next year, they are not going to have a 4th place schedule. They're going to be playing a lot more.
Speaking of next year,
good defenses.
It's actually just. Did you see they released next year's schedules? Obviously, because they have the standings are locked in, and your Chicago Bears have the toughest schedule next season as of right now.
Say that one more time. I'm sorry.
The Bears have the toughest schedule in the league next year, according to opponent win percentage.
Yep.
So it's crazy.
Yeah, but you never know. You never know.
No.
So many teams get flipped from now to
the NFC North. Season. The NFC North is playing like the AFC South, so like the Texans, the Jags, the Colts, and the NFC West, which is the Seahawks, the Rams, the Niners. So the top 3 teams in the NFC North, the Vikings, Packers, and Bears, all are like top 10 schedules. And then the Lions, who get the 4th place schedule, are like 28th.
Oh,
because they're getting the Cardinals, they're getting they're getting the Titans, they're getting those teams. So classic Minnesota shooting themselves in the foot. Couldn't just take the last place schedule. Let's stick to playoffs for now. We'll talk a little Minnesota, a little Bears later. Who were we picking in this game, guys? I know this is going to sound crazy. I'm going to give my reasoning. I'm picking the Chargers for a lot of what Riley said. We don't know who Drake May is in the playoffs. This is their toughest game, and this is Jim Harbaugh with a healthy quarterback and his defense in the playoffs. He is a phenomenal head coach, and once you get in, anything's on the table. You're basically starting a new season now, and I'm going to ride with Harbaugh and what I know he can do against May. Now, do I think there's a good chance the Patriots can win? Absolutely. They're a good football team. But if I had to put my life on it, I would pick Jim Harbaugh and the Chargers. I almost said the Niners.
I'm literally in the same boat as you. Like, I'm not gonna pick against Jim Harbaugh and Justin Herbert and like people who've been there before.
I would like to real quick. I forgot to say
it's a road game for them though.
Yeah, I forgot to say one thing. Defense travels to that. But one other thing I forgot to say is that the Chargers, I believe their offensive line ranked 32nd in pass protection and 31st in run grade. So they have like the worst offensive line. And somebody was like, how did the Chargers even win games? And then somebody just posted a picture of Justin Herbert. And I'm like, yeah, actually. Like he literally is like, he's Josh Allening the Chargers into the playoffs right now. And I believe that Harbaugh is going to have this defense ready to roll.
I think it's very possible the Patriots could upset though.
Yeah, absolutely. And it wouldn't be an upset. They'll be favored, but
true.
I am probably going to lean towards the Patriots. I think they're a little more well-rounded.
I do believe that as well.
I think so long as Drake May doesn't have a 2-turnover game, I think they win.
Okay. That's absolutely fair.
You know
prediction.
what? I'm flipping. I'm flipping. He's got me flipping. I'm jumping on the Patriots.
Yeah, and I don't hate it, and I don't think the Patriots can't win this game. I don't believe that the Patriots are this unstoppable force. I believe the Chargers are a good defense. They sat Herbert last week to get him healthy. I believe that there's a lot of good this Chargers team can still do. It'll literally come down to, can the offensive line hold up? And that's it. That's what it comes down to. So we're going to pick the Patriots in this game. I'm trying to get the playoff predictor to – it won't pick the Patriots for me. All right, we'll come back to that. Next up is Bills-Jaguars. Bills-Jaguars. What are we feeling?
This is going to be a tough game, man. I like this game. I like this matchup. Jags look hot right now. And the Bills, I haven't really been paying too much attention to the Bills. Worst
run defense left in the playoffs. But they're a very good football team, and they can make some serious noise.
I've seen a few games. I just haven't seen a lot of them, and I just felt like they've lost a few games, like kind of similar to the Chargers. Like I feel like they didn't quite meet expectations this year. I mean, they're 12-5.
I put that on their defense.
Yeah.
Well, I put that on their defense. They're the 12th ranked defense. This defense, the run game has been atrocious. They rank 28th in rushing yards given up, and they're only 14th in attempts. So they give up, top 4 rushing yards, and they've only been run at bottom 15 amount of times. So back half of the league in times rushed against, but top 5 in the league in yards given up. So they are atrocious running defense.
They've won 5 out of their last 7, and the 2 losses are the Texans and the Eagles.
Yep.
and all their wins are against just kind of like subpar teams like the Steelers, Bengals, Patriots are kind of, Patriots and Steelers are the same, but like Browns, Jets, and I just think man, the Jags are
the Browns
just
are in Cleveland,
white
so that's
hot.
impressive.
Jags, yeah, but the Jags are just white hot right now.
Yeah, they are.
And I think unfortunately Trevor Lawrence is going to break Bills fans' hearts. I'll take the Jags. I'll take the Jags.
I'm on with the Jags. Jags are the best run defense in the NFL against the Bills, who are the best run offense in the NFL. I do like the Jags. I'm gonna pick Buffalo here overall to win this game because I think we're looking at so when you look at the playoffs, okay, you look at the playoffs in the crazy season we've had. I think we can all agree one of the craziest seasons we've had in maybe NFL history. And every year we always look back at the Super Bowl and we never go, oh, who imagined they would win it, right? Like you have like 2 or 3 of those throughout NFL history, and so it can happen, right? The Ravens in 2012, the Giants in 2007, right? Like you're like, oh, I couldn't have imagined that happening. But so what I will say is, I think the Bills are one of those teams that it's like, oh yeah, obviously Josh Allen is looking at a playoffs with no Joe Burrow, no Lamar Jackson, no Patrick Mahomes. This is, quite honestly, just say it, his easiest path to a Super Bowl he's probably ever going to get. And I don't think he's going to let that slip.
I would lean Buffalo too. I know the number 1 rushing offense, the number 1 rushing defense, call that a scratch. Josh Allen statistically is a great playoff quarterback. And I don't think you're going to see a Josh Allen 3 interception game where he's making the what are you doing plays. I trust Josh Allen in the playoffs, and that's where I'm going to lean.
Cool. All right, so we're giving that to Buffalo. Ties go. Tie goes to the home team, but there's no ties here, so that goes to Buffalo. We have Houston at Pittsburgh. I think we can all agree Houston's going to win this game. Pittsburgh,
I mean, unless they bring that priest back, and some weird stuff. Happens again.
Houston, right?
I'm going to say this, Dalton. I'm going to say this. It's in Pittsburgh, Riley. I'm going to say this. I don't think a priest could help them because that offense is going to be in hell. Like,
you got DK Metcalf's going back,
bro. This Texans defense is there is the top 3 defenses in the league: Seattle, Denver, and then there's Houston. They are straight up. We line it up, run the ones. We don't disguise what we're doing. We don't blitz a lot. We just send forward. We get home. We take care of the back end on defense.
But is it Aaron Rodgers or is it Drake May that they're going up against? I mean, he is older, and this is the oldest we've seen him, and he's not playing as great as he's been, but he's still Aaron Rodgers. You know what I mean?
But he's not still Aaron Rodgers. He's a game managing quarterback now.
That's Aaron Rodgers as a game manager quarterback. We're not talking about Brock Purdy. We're talking about a guy who's been in the league so long, Tom Brady-esque.
That actually leans to my side of things. So the game managing aspect, I would say Aaron Rodgers at this stage in his career is not all that much better than Brock Purdy. Purdy's,
as far as game managers go, I would say
But so hold on.
That's a pretty good one.
Let me finish. Oh, he's a great one. But here's what I'm saying with that is the Texans aren't we're going to disguise things and we're going to move things around and try to trick you. Like, you don't know what we're going to do and you have to figure us out, which is where Rodgers would have his advantage. That's where his last advantage lies. His advantages used to be in his mobility and creating time and space and letting his receivers get open. His advantage now is in his brain. And the Texans don't try to get an advantage there. They get the advantage physically. They just line it up and say, here's what we're doing. We're coming after you. Do something about it. Like, stop us physically. And I don't feel like the Steelers can match that. Aaron Rodgers' number one receiving target over the back half of the season has been his running back, Kenneth Gainwell. He's thrown to him like 8 times a game.
Yeah.
And I know we remember Aaron Rodgers as MVP Aaron, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, but he does not have a great playoff track record. I know he has the one Super Bowl, but he has several bad games in the playoff, even in his prime.
Here is the Aaron Rodgers track record in the playoffs. 0 Super Bowls without a top 5 defense and 4 Pro Bowl receivers on the same team. He had 4. He had James Jones, Donald Driver, Jordy Nelson, and Randall Cobb with a top 4 defense, and that barely won him a Super Bowl. Any other time, he's never even made it back. He just doesn't do it. He's had MVP seasons, top 5 defenses. Like, unless he just has a loaded team, he falls off in the playoffs. He just does. He doesn't get it done when he needs to. The perfect example is the 2014-2015 season in the Seattle playoff game. They're up 16-0 going into the 3rd quarter, and they blow the lead, go into overtime. Rodgers can't put up a single score in the 4th quarter to put the game away.
And he's had several multi-turnover games in the playoffs that sent them home.
Yeah. And all of this is to say, Rodgers, all-time great, top 10 quarterback to ever play the game. Nobody's going to question that ever, period, end of story. A lot of, anybody in Green Bay will tell you he's the greatest quarterback to ever live. And I don't care what other people say. I'm just saying Green Bay fans will. He's just not. I don't see it. I don't see him. This Texans defense is, in my opinion, the best defense we've seen since single season, probably 2017. Overall, probably since the Legion of Boom defense. This Texans defense is just scary. So, for that reason, I'm going Texans. We going Texans, Riley?
Yes, I am.
All right. Let's switch over to the NFC side of things. Packers, Bears, Riley. We know where you're going. Get it all out. Get your roll on.
Man, it makes me real nervous. We're seeing Green Bay for a 3rd time. We split the 2 games. Both of them were really close, but that second game came down to an onside kick recovery and a 50-yard bomb to DJ Moore to seal the game. At this point, playing a team for a 3rd time, you know what they're trying to do. They know what you're trying to do. To me, it really comes down to our defense. As bad as they played the last couple of weeks, I have faith in the offense. No matter what it looks like the first 3 quarters, they're going to get their stuff together in the 4th quarter to make it a game. It has been there. We have been behind in a lot of games. And there hasn't been a time where I'm not like, oh, they can come back from this. I mean, they came back down from 16-0 with 2 touchdowns and 2 2-point conversions to tie the game.
Yep.
To me, it's just a matter of if our defense can get the turnovers and button things up.
And I will say that the defense, every year, another defense, this isn't an indictment on the Bears for this season, but in future seasons, this kind of turnover play isn't sustainable. Defenses don't just do this year in and year out. And so, like the Vikings, they led the league in turnovers last year. We were I think 18th this year. Like, it's just such a volatile stat. Teams jump around. No team is always at the top.
To me, it makes me even more nervous because throughout the entire season, most of our defense was hurt. So we're like, okay, we're giving up a bunch of yards, but we'll get the starters back and we'll be fine. Jalen Johnson hasn't looked the same since he come back from injury. I believe C.J. Gardner-Johnson went down, so we don't know if Kyler Gordon will be back for this game and what he'll look like. I think he's played a total of a game and a half this season. Our linebackers aren't playing like they used to, and I was a big fan of our linebackers. They just haven't looked the same. And our D-line was never good to begin with. I mean, they're still playing bad, but obviously I'm going to take the Bears. It being at home, I like it. I would like it much better them at home than them playing in Green Bay.
Yeah, I would say personally, Riley, I think your guys' season turned around in the Cincinnati game, and it gave you guys the we can do this feeling for the offense. And then, you get a couple good wins. You beat Pittsburgh, but I see the Bears on a Pittsburgh level, unfortunately. A Pittsburgh, a Chargers, a Steelers. They're that level of team for me. They did benefit from a really easy schedule. But I really do firmly believe that Green Bay should not be in the playoffs. Like if the Packers, well, hold on, hear me out.
You say
if the
this
Packers,
every year.
Hear me out.
And I'm not saying what your point is different this year than it normally is. Normally it's from a hater perspective. This one is
it's not from a hater. It's not from a hater perspective. It's from the Vikings were we can all agree the Vikings had a miserable season, as a worst case scenario season, right? If the Packers had, if the NFL didn't have the dumbest rule in all of professional sports in that two teams can tie, which I think is so dumb that there's ties in the NFL, there's a more than 50% chance the Packers are not in the playoffs. The Cowboys tie got them in the playoffs. I don't believe you should ever get in. It is the reason we all hate ties, and we talked about it then, is that this was probably going to affect the playoffs, and they were going to get into the playoffs based off some kind of, well, it only counts as half a loss. Like, no, you didn't win the game. If you don't win the game, you shouldn't get half a win. Like, period. And it's not even that the Vikings were the ones that were just on the outside looking in. It's not about that. It's that the Vikings were a bad team, and this Packers team was half a game better than them. Like, this is not a good team. And so I at least believe the Bears are a good team. And so that is why I picked the Bears to win this game.
Yeah, I mean, you said it all. I don't really have any more to put on top of either of that.
Bears. All right. San Francisco at Philly. This is kind of weird because San Francisco looked so bad in that last game, but I believe personally that was because it was a divisional game, not because, the Seahawks figured out the Niners. If you look at their week 1 matchup, it was not a high-scoring affair. I believe that's just how these two teams play each other. I'm not worried about that. I believe this Niners offense is going to come out red hot. They're going to come out, put up 30 points, and this Eagles team, their offense is struggling, and the only hope they have is to tell A.J. Brown, hey, listen, dude, we're back in the postseason. You throwing a fit in the regular season to get your targets and whatever, that was cute. We're about winning football games again, and here is every stat in the book on why when we run the football more, we win. We're running the football. Sit down. Let's go win another ring. Saquon's the engine again. That's your only hope, and I don't believe Sirianni will do it. So because of that, I'm going 49ers.
Man, this is just one of those games for me, as a Cowboys fan. Hope I wish they would both lose.
Yeah. Hey, trust me, the game we were just talking about, rooting for the pilot. Hope the pilot makes that alive.
But yeah, I agree. I totally agree with you. I think San Francisco is honestly a surprise for me this year.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they kind of exceeded people's expectations, especially mine.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, well, they kind of had a down year last year, and then then they lost Deebo Samuel, and they didn't have Brandon Ayuk, so I was just thinking that their offense wasn't gonna, I didn't think CMC was gonna come back strong on
remember,
a double
they played most of the season without Purdy.
Yeah. But exactly.
Most season without Purdy and still put up a top 10 offense, which I believe is so impressive.
Yeah. I can't think of anything I would love more than the Eagles to be one and done in the playoffs. Do I think the Bears are going to be able to knock out the 49ers in the next round? You mean,
in the next round?
Because it would be because
at this point, the Niners would play the Seahawks in the next round, depending on who wins the. Actually, no, I think the Bears. Yeah, the Bears don't play. The Seahawks will play the Niners if the Niners win.
Oh, okay. Well, go Seahawks.
That's another thing. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Niners.
The games were spread out, but they were both on the back half of the season. I watched the Bears play Philly. I watched the Bears play the Niners. I was more impressed with the Niners, so I'm going to lean with the Niners. But I also haven't caught a Philly game since that Bears game. But, I mean, the transitive property, if A beats B and C beats B, is better. You know what I mean? So
Philly does have a top 5 offense in points. They played kind of rough to end the season. They did beat Buffalo, but they lost to the Chargers, Bears, and Cowboys. But then they beat the Raiders, the Commanders, and then they go out and beat Buffalo in a 13-12 crazy game in Buffalo, which is kind of their only good win in the back half of the schedule. They did beat the Packers, but like I said, I don't think the Packers are that good of a team. I don't really know what to make of the Eagles because they're playing so bad against bad teams. They're playing so good against good teams. That's going to be a close game. I believe no matter what, in the fourth quarter, it'll be a 28-20 ball game, Eagles driving, and then I believe the Niners will come out on top. They'll get another touchdown or a field goal or something, but it'll be a close game. It'll be a close game for sure, but I am riding Niners.
Yep.
All right. So we get Niners there. So LA at Carolina. I believe Carolina has no chance to win this game. I believe there are three teams.
The Rams?
They did. They did. And that's why you know how hard it is to beat a team twice in one season?
Yeah, but the Rams won one and the Panthers won one. So
no, they only played once.
Oh,
they're not in the same division. They've only played once. And Carolina won that game in a huge upset. You think the Rams have forgotten about that? You think the Rams have just like brushed that? No, the Rams are I think the Rams are going to be coming through with a vengeance here. I can pull up the score from that game. Give me 2 seconds here to pull it up. I believe the Rams have after that Seattle loss and the what do you call it? The wind getting knocked out of them in that Seattle loss, which I believe should be Matthew Stafford's biggest, hey, this is the MVP game. I mean, 4 touchdowns and 300 some odd yards against the Seattle defense. Divisional or not, that's impressive. I mean, anyways, long story short, this Carolina team, they won 31-28 against the Rams last time. I don't think the Rams defense is going to let that happen again. They're going to come in and be like, that's not a second time. So I'm going Rams. I think it's not going to be close.
Yeah, I'm going to go Rams too. I think they're better on paper. I think they have the better coaching staff. And this is Bryce Young's first playoff game, isn't it?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, so I don't have faith in Bryce Young in the regular season. I definitely don't have faith in him in his first playoff game. So
he's definitely no Jaden Daniels. You know what I mean? Like I don't expect him to make a run like the Commanders did last year. You know.
I agree.
I think this might be the worst game. Not that it's going to be a bad game, but I think it might be the worst game of the playoffs.
Okay. All right, let's go back to AFC side of things. We're not going to get as detailed into these because these are hypothetical matchups, but we're just going to run through pick winners real quick. Buffalo at Denver. I'm going Buffalo.
I'm going Buffalo.
I'm going to take Buffalo.
Okay. Houston at New England. I'm going to take Houston.
Houston.
I'm going to take New England. I feel if they win the first game, that means Drake May is playing well.
Okay. We have San Francisco at Seattle. I give the slightest of edges to Seattle.
I'm going to take San Fran here.
They do. I'm sorry, San Francisco at Seattle. If I didn't say that, I apologize.
I'm
going to take Seattle.
Riley?
I'm going to take San Fran.
Yeah. LA at Chicago. Riley, I'm sorry. I would take LA.
LA at Chicago?
Yeah.
This
is Matthew Stafford. I understand your logic for the cold. This is Matthew Stafford. Devontae Adams, Matthew Stafford, two guys very accustomed playing in Chicago, had success there.
They've been in LA for years now. It's quick to forget how cold Chicago is. I am going to take Chicago for that reason. I think LA's better on paper, but I have faith in our bad weather to make a big difference.
Dalt?
Devontae Adams possibly being back.
Oh, he'll be back by that point if they make it there.
Man, Ben Johnson's great, but who'd you rather have, Ben Johnson or Sean McVay? And it's not even by a lot.
I wouldn't even lie. I mean, if you could give me Ben Johnson with Matthew Stafford, I would probably take that over McVay and Matthew Stafford right now. Ben Johnson has been that good lately, but Johnson and Caleb or Matt and Sean, I'm taking Matt and Sean.
Yeah, give me the Rams.
Okay. Back to the AFC side of things, Buffalo at Houston. Whew. Buffalo at Houston. Man, I have to go Bills. I
want to go Bills.
I think the only way I've said for a long time the only way Houston doesn't make it to the Super Bowl is if they have to play Denver in Denver. I believe I've changed that. I think they could handle Denver with the way the defense has played over the last month or so. I now believe the Bills and Josh Allen having a Josh Allen Superman game is the only thing that's going to stop the Bills stop the Texans from making the Super Bowl. And so I'm going to take the Bills.
I just hope that the Texans get knocked out as quickly as possible because I don't want to hear it from anybody about the real Texas team and blah, blah, fucking blah. So, go Bills.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Bills too, just because I think offense and defense will end up being a scratch. I have more faith in the Bills' defense than I do Houston's offense.
All right. Los Angeles Rams at Seattle Seahawks. Both games were close. Both games were less than 3 points. The Rams do hold a +1 advantage in the two games. And if I had to put my life on it, would go Rams in this game for the fact of if I had to bet, the Rams have shown they can beat up the Seahawks defense. And I trust the Rams offense more than I trust Sam Darnold and the Seahawks offense to beat up on the Rams defense. We saw what happened when the Rams got to the playoffs last year. They turned into a different gear. That defensive line was insane. I'm not saying they're going to do that again. I don't trust Sam. Sam has shown he can implode. He's had a couple games this season where he doesn't do well. And I don't trust him to have an MVP Josh Allen game over the Rams again. I don't trust him to do that again. I trust Stafford to do that again. That would be the only reason.
Yeah, I would take the Rams here too, just because of my lack of faith in Sam Darnold. And
I mean the Seahawks. Mine's not even Darnold specifically. Mine's the Seahawks offense as a whole.
Okay. Yeah.
The line holding up, Darnold holding up, the run game getting going. The only consistent thing I trust on that offense to be week in and week out is JSN. And unless he's going to put up 500 yards of offense by himself, he's not going to keep up with the Rams. So that was my feeling there. So I will say, shout out Spoon, who's normally on the podcast, wanted me to give a shout out to Seattle. He called them winning that game, and I said last week that I thought Seattle probably wins this game, but that the Rams should win it. And I feel like that was kind of accurate because Seattle had a crazy good claw back into it. Nobody expected the Seahawks to be able to put up that many points against the Rams, and good on them. They did it. They secured the 1 seed. Props to them. Like no disrespect at all. They deserve the 1 seed, and they're going to get it, and they're going to win a playoff game, I believe. I just believe like this Rams team is, if they meet again, will be too much to handle a third time. With that being said, that brings our Super Bowl matchup to the Buffalo Bills and the Los Angeles Rams in a Super Bowl I think we would all be stoked to watch. Dalton, bias. I've talked about this a little bit in the past. I absolutely do not want the Buffalo Bills to win a Super Bowl for the fact of I am 0-4 in Super Bowls. I was 0-4 20 years before they were 0-4. I get a Super Bowl first.
Oh my
Okay?
God, you're
Once
such a
I
little
have
brother right
one,
now.
they can have as many as they want.
Coming from the
I want
youngest
one, and that
of
is it.
3, you're being such a little brother right now. Well,
Any-
they have
anyway.
one, and I've been here longer, and I should
I
get
agree.
one first.
I should. I firmly believe that.
Well, you didn't make
that
it.
being said,
and
that
they're
being
there,
said,
and the
I
Rams have
think the
won more
Bills win.
recently. I hope the Bills win, regardless.
Well, that being said, I think the Bills, if they make it to the Super Bowl, that means they are red hot, and I would take the Bills.
Riley?
Yeah, I would lean the Bills too, just because I think they have more ways to win.
See, I would say they have less ways to win, but I would take them because of the one way they have is Josh Allen and James Cook establishing the run game. And I said it last year.
That's why I say more ways. They can win on the back of their run game, or they can win on the back of Josh Allen. Maybe their defense comes to play, but
I was about to say, but their defense is so bad in the run game that the Rams could win on the back of their defense. They could win through the run game. The Rams could win through Puka. The Rams could win through Devontae. Like it's. Anyways, I would pick the Rams if this hypothetical came up, or pick the Bills if this hypothetical came up because Josh Allen, and I believe that he would get his Super Bowl, and then it goes from there. So I believe that the Bills would win this game.
Yeah.
Dolt?
Bills win the Super Bowl.
Bills win the Super Bowl. That would be absolutely. It would be a 5 and a 6 seed in the Super Bowl. That would be kind of insane.
Yeah.
God, Josh Allen's playoff career would be tainted forever if he made it to the Super Bowl and then lost. I don't think that would be recoverable. I don't think he would ever make it back, and I don't think that would be recoverable. I think
he didn't end up like Dan Marino.
Yeah, and I think he would have. I think, as weird as this sounds, because the Rams-Seattle game is a divisional game, and it's so weird that either team could get in. If the Seahawks make the Super Bowl, I would take the Seahawks over the Bills. I know that sounds weird.
I would.
Yeah,
too.
I would. If they're playing that well, then that defense is. If they make it, their defense is playing at a level in which I don't believe Josh Allen can get around. But if Josh Allen does win the Super Bowl in that case, with Seattle making the playoffs, he would have gone through Houston and Seattle. There would be no denying it as one of the greatest Super Bowl runs in NFL history. And that, in my opinion, in that case, because he would have to go through, in this scenario, he would go through Jacksonville, the hottest quarterback in the league in Trevor Lawrence, Denver, one of the best defenses in the NFL, Houston, the best defense in the NFL, and Seattle, another best defense, like one of the other top 3. So all of the top 3 defenses he would have to go through to get there in the Seattle scenario. And so that would be one of the most impressive runs in the Super Bowl era, in my opinion. I do want to take a second, talk about some other stuff. Dalt, the Cowboys released Matt Eberflus today. We talked about it. We all felt this was coming. You've talked about how this is what you wanted. I don't personally believe that it will be a one-season turnaround and you guys will have a top 10 defense next season. I believe it's going to take a little more than that. You guys need some secondary help. I don't know what your cap situation looks like now. I can look that up while you give your thoughts. But just give me your thoughts on how you feel about that.
I'm surprised. Jerry Jones is not one for making quick decisions. I am glad he didn't. I don't know. I feel like he could have just done it in the middle of the season, and then. But hindsight's 2020. I normally am a proponent of continuity, so bring the same guy back. It's his first year, maybe give him another chance. I was not this year. I'm going to be very invested in the coaching search, who's available, and then who starts going first. I don't think Brian Flores is going to. He's not. There are certain candidates that are available, it just depends on their success. So Brian Flores, with his success, I would expect him to either get a massive contract from you guys or go find a head coaching. Somebody like Raheem Morris, I would expect him to kind of sort of be demoted to a DC. You know, you see some guys who are DCs or OCs and they become head coaches and they don't do well and they just go right back to kind of where they fit. I'd be fine with a Brian, you know, or not Brian Flores, with you know, like I said, Raheem Morris. I was really sad. I think a lot of our defensive woes this year stem from losing Al Harris, who went to Chicago. Al Harris is he's brilliant. He's very brilliant. He's a really great assistant coach, and I think anybody would benefit from him. Would love to see him as a hire. I don't think that's going to happen. But yeah, I'm excited. I think with the right coach, I think we absolutely could have a quick turnaround next year. We have the personnel. I believe in a lot of the guys on our defense that we have right now: Ezaraku, Solomon Thomas, Kenny Clark, Odigizua, Deron Bland, Overshown, all guys that have shown that they can take over games, but they have to have the right defensive mind guiding them. And I really hope that Jerry is still all in, like he said he was 2 years ago, and that we find a coordinator, the best coordinator that is available, as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I would say your biggest, Riley, what were you going to say?
So I just wanted to add something.
Yeah.
I think it was a bit of a mistake to let him go after the first year for the reason Brenner said. I don't think it's a 1-year turnaround, right? Whoever bring in, everyone.
Pause real quick, just to address that. Patriots lost 14 games and they have won 14 games in very next year. So but I think it could be that, but we would have to find the perfect guy.
I wouldn't say that is the majority. Most of the time it takes a year for a guy to come in and cement this
even Flores, we went from 32nd to 24th. In Miami, he went from 32nd to 31st. His first season there, he didn't turn around in one season. He needed 2 seasons to get it turned around. So,
and
I agree with Riley on that.
You already know Flus is bad, so give him more talent. Fire him next season so that whenever you bring in the right DC, he is set up for success from the beginning.
I don't necessarily agree with that because I do.
I draw the line at allowing the most points in franchise history.
It was the 5th most points
for the Cowboys. No, Eberflus for Cowboys for like all time, maybe yes,
I thought
all
it was
time.
5th most.
No, it's for in Cowboys history. He has allowed the most points to be scored on that team organization of all time.
To be fair, you have more faith in the personnel on the Cowboys currently than I do. Let me preface by I think the Cowboys need more talent on defense.
They could definitely use with like a lights out pass rusher. And they need secondary help.
Darn. If only you had one.
Yeah, well, he got injured, so who really won on that one? But and then a good cornerback, and then a couple good cornerbacks and a couple good linebackers would really set us off. But we just, as far as our starters go, we probably only have one at each position that I think is like really great. Like I said, Deron Bland, only cornerback I believe in. Overshown, only linebacker I believe in. Odigizua, probably our best lineman. So that's about it.
Yeah. I don't know. It's hard for me. I don't believe that this Cowboys defense has the personnel to do that. And Riley, I disagree with Dalton on that, but I also disagree with Riley on not firing Eberflus because I do feel like it's a multi-year turnaround. So get your guy in there and start making that turnaround now to get it happening sooner. because I do believe it's going to take a year, 2 years down the road before it starts to happen, because I don't believe in the talent level of the Cowboys personnel. I mean, a lot of times we get caught up in the how many points did the defense actually allow thing, and we forget about the how many yards they gave up. The Cowboys defense has only finished top 5 in yards once since 2020. So it's not like every year they're just straight up stopping. They're lining up and just stopping people. They've had some good defenses, and that's been thanks to some turnover luck, which we talked earlier is not a super repeatable thing. You don't expect it to carry over year to year to year to year. That being said, I don't expect them to be, 30th again in the league. I do believe Eberflus was a bad coach too, and I do believe that could help. I do believe they could become a, bottom 15 defense instead of a bottom 10 defense this year, or bottom 5 defense this year. I think the biggest thing is getting the right guy in there, getting the scheme going.
Well, so if you remember in the beginning when they got rid of Micah Parsons,
in the beginning,
and Jerry Jones was talking about how you can scheme to put pressure on a quarterback. You don't necessarily need a Myles Garrett or Max Crosby. You can scheme to get that, and everybody was kind of like, "Huh? Then why don't these other teams that don't have these guys do that?" You know what I mean? And from what I have been reading from some of the people that I follow on Twitter, some of the beat writers, like that was apparently coming from Eberflus. He was, trying to convince.
Well, Riley said it best. Eberflus got to Chicago. What's the first thing they did, Riley?
Lose.
Well, who'd they send away?
Oh, Khalil Mack.
Yeah.
Sent away Khalil Mack. He gets to Dallas. First thing they do, send away Micah Parsons. He believes that. I fundamentally don't believe that. I fundamentally believe you have to have a legit number one pass rusher to cause havoc and open it up for anybody else. And unless you
have to build your offense around your quarterback, you have to build your defense around a pass rusher.
A pass rush, per se, I agree. You either need 1 A+, you need 2 A's, you need 3 B+, you need 4 B's. Like you have to have that level. It has to all equate out to that level. And if you have, so my favorite example is Minnesota and Brian Flores. He has Jonathan Grenard and Andrew Van Ginkel. Those are 2 A pass rushers. They're not A+. They're not 99 overalls, but they're 90 overalls, right? They're gonna be A's. They're gonna get A grades. They're not gonna be A+. So they do have a cap, but you have 2 of those guys, and then you sub out a Dallas Turner who came on really strong this year, and now you got a B guy who's they're consistently having an A and a B on the field together, whereas Riley, in years past with just Montez Sweat, you have A pass rusher, and that is it. You can't create pressure that way.
At times, Montez isn't an A.
Yeah, I think he's an A guy. That trade has worked out well for the Bears. I was very critical of it when it happened, and it has worked out very okay for the Bears. Obviously, didn't overpay too much for that, which I was critical of in the past. Dalt, wrapping up on the Cowboys here, my biggest issue with the Cowboys right now is their cap situation. All the guys you are paying that are good are being paid really big money and kind of inescapable, really big money. Odigizua, really big and inescapable. DaRon Bland, really big and inescapable. Tyler Booker, really big and inescapable.
Jake Ferguson.
Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, Tyler Smith. I mean, all of those guys, all of your guys' bigger names are all on big contracts right now. So if you cut any of those guys to save cap space, you're taking a huge hit in talent, and you no longer have the talent level that you had before. And unless you nail the draft, which is really hard but doable, once again, really hard to do, it's my biggest issue with the Cowboys right now. You're going to be losing your wide receiver 1 from last year in George Pickens, just because CD was hurt. We don't know. I do believe that won't.
We don't know what
you'd have to clear $50 million in cap room just to sign him.
He could get franchise tagged.
You would still need $50 million just to sign him, because you're negative 22 against the cap right now. Which means, so for example,
there are people who are paid to pay more attention to that, and I've seen teams just go into cap hell and win the Super Bowl the next year. So that doesn't really bother me at all.
But it's so, for example, to do that, you would have to, I mean, you're for sure cutting, you're either cutting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 starters. So you're either cutting 9 starters or you're cutting guys like Deron Bland, Odigizua, and that would get you there. So you're losing 2 of your biggest key pieces at positions of need. So you're either taking a huge hit at positions of need or a huge hit at depth just to sign one guy. And that's without a draft class. That's without filling those holes. It's not doable. It's not doable. Based off what the Cowboys have shown us, how they want to run the team based off last season, and that is building depth and building a more sound roster instead of just pouring money into one position because they got burnt with Dak, and they're showing that. Like, they're not going to bring back
burnt with Dak. What do you mean burnt with Dak?
With the fact that he's handicapping their roster by making so much money, and that Jerry Jones has said on camera this year that they don't want to operate that way in the future because when Dak got hurt, they got burnt and they were stuck in no man's land for a whole season because Dak was hurt and they didn't have the roster around him or without him to win.
Okay.
What is
that's what I meant.
What is cheaper, the tag or signing?
The tag would be cheaper this season for them to tag George Pickens
versus
instead
just
of
signing him to a contract.
Okay.
Yeah.
If he goes long term, he'll get 35.
Yeah, he'll get 35.
30 to 35.
30 for sure. The tag would be, what would we figure out, like 28, Dalt?
27 and a half.
27. Still, they're over 22, so you have to clear $50 million just for him, just to get him signed in on the books for next season.
A lot of things can happen, man. Like I said, I don't understand the cap. There's a lot of players that they could cut and save them a little bit of cap room. They already cut, Trayvon Diggs, and that's a start.
Yeah, and that got you to where you're at. You were like $40 million over, and that was a big help. And we expected Trayvon Diggs to go. We talked about that in the past. Regardless of what happened, we expected him not to be there. I don't believe you can't cut guys like Quentin Williams and Kenny Clark because you just acquired them, so they're off the table. Now you have guys like CeeDee Lamb making $38 million, Tyler Smith making $27 million, Odigizua making $20 million. But if you cut them, Odigizua, you have to pay $32 million, so it's worse to cut him. Well, Tyler Smith, you have to pay $37 million, so it's worse to cut him. CeeDee Lamb, you have to pay $68 million. It's worse to cut him.
I also believe in our draftability. Will McClay, and I've said this ad nauseum as a Cowboys fan, Will McClay is a great front office personnel to have. He is a great talent scout. And we have had our last few picks in the first round, other than Mozzie Smith, have all pretty much hit. Tyler Booker, Tyler Smith. I can't
CeeDee
off
Lamb
the top of my head.
Years.
Yeah, but so we have the 12th pick. I believe that we'll be able to find at least one great guy in the first round, be it offense or defense. Hopefully, it's a defensive guy, like another Micah Parsons. That'd be great. So we'll see. I'm excited. I'm excited for this offseason. Can only go up, hopefully.
Riley, we've kind of already talked about the Bears. Is there anything you want to add about the Bears season? Just before we move on, we'll talk about the Vikings next, and we'll close out the episode.
Not really. I really feel like I've said what I wanted to say. I think their future looks great. Now it's just a matter of what we can do against the Packers.
What do you feel about your future as far as the stadium goes?
Honestly, I
the
have
Indianapolis Bears.
Yeah.
The Gary Bears.
I lost
so initially,
did you lose
they
me?
were looking.
You guys hear me?
I can hear you. You're frozen though.
I can hear you.
I think they lost me.
No, there you
gotcha.
are.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear us?
Yeah. So initially, they were looking.
Okay, cool. Yep, I can hear you.
I don't know if I've gone through this. They couldn't come to terms with the city of Chicago in order to build a stadium there. So they started looking at Arlington Heights, which is like 35 to 45 minutes outside of Chicago. They couldn't get a good property tax figured out with the state to build the stadium there. Where they're looking at in Indiana, it is Indiana, right? I'm not.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I've been
it's
mixing
just on the
that
other
up.
side. So
It is
Riley, you remember?
It's closer to Chicago than Arlington Heights was to Chicago.
So you know where you remember Kimmy, my aunt Kimmy?
Yeah.
That's where she lives.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so it's very. Remember how she said she only lives like 30 minutes from the city? It's not far. Yeah, that's pretty much the area she lives in. So it's not a long ways from Chicago. It's still going to be funny to troll them as the Indiana Bears, which
And
I will never let die.
It sounds how initial talks have gone with the state that they are more than welcome to the Bears moving into Indiana.
Yeah, and I 100%, the second they set foot in that state, I'm going to be like, the Indiana Bears have never won a Super Bowl, Riley. So just be prepared for that. You have 0 Super Bowls once they change.
But I mean, you see more and more teams keep their names but aren't playing in that city. So it's not like an uncommon
Kansas
thing
City Chiefs, the Dallas Cowboys, teams move. It happens. I'm not worried about it. I want to bring up an elephant in the room about the Vikings season, and that is J.J. McCarthy. And Dalt, we have talked about a lot. You said before last week, sit him. He shouldn't even start. Let him. Don't risk the injury. And I had said he needs to be smarter about coming out of the game when he's hurt. We were both kind of right. You were right. He probably shouldn't have played. He said pregame, they asked him, what's the pain level in your hand? He said 8.5 out of 10. But I'm going to play. He was like, it still hurts, but I'm playing. He wanted to be out there. It was a meaningless game. But hold on, time out. In an injury that he couldn't really make much worse. They basically told him, hold on. They told him, you're not going to make the injury worse, but the pain's not going to go away. And he decided, okay, well, then I'm playing.
Well, then why'd they pull him?
So he pulled himself. He got to a point where he felt he could not grip the football anymore like he was in the New York game. So he made the smart decision this time that he should have made in the New York game.
Okay,
and
here's
said,
my question
I can't physically play.
Here's my question. Who is your head coach? Is it
Kevin
J.J.
O'Connell.
McCarthy or is it Kevin O'Connell? Because if I'm the head coach and my quarterback that we drafted, that we believe in, that's supposed to take us into the thing, and he comes to me and says, my throwing hand hurts at an 8.5 out of 10. Sorry, bud, you're sitting. Not your choice. Don't care how bad you want to play. 8.5, and you think you can just go out and play. And I understand that you can't make it any worse. But it's like, I don't believe that of any injury. If you're injured and you're playing it, especially if it's your throwing hand or your back leg where you throw off of, or your shoulder, those are all important things. So it's you can keep playing and not get it hurt, but it's how much do we actually know that? Did he really not hurt it anymore? Because if he didn't, then he should have just played the whole game.
Well, he's about to have 4 months off. So
they're about to go into a time where they believe this injury is a 3-week recovery, and worst case scenario, if it was the worst it could get, they said it would take about a month to recover from this injury. So
why would you want to make it worse?
Beginning of the season, I would agree
morale
with you.
Boost by
at the beginning of the season,
100%.
If he got this in week 1, then you said.
Or if we were going into the postseason. If there was something to play for, I agree with you completely. But in a game where there's nothing to play for, and the worst case scenario is But hold on. In the worst case scenario is your hand hurts for an extra week while you're sitting on your couch, play.
You don't think it's
play
worth
until
it?
You can't play. And
That's
he did.
So stupid to me. That's so stupid to me. If somebody came up to me before a game and was like, if you don't play, it's a 3-week. If you do play, it's a month. Not playing. Sorry.
Well, hold on. And
more time to be healed. You're not gaining it. What are you gaining out of him playing?
No offense, Brenner, but I don't think JJ has earned that right yet. He needs to be putting as much film out there and doing everything he can to be embraced by the fans and the team. If it was Josh Allen, they weren't playing for it, maybe, but I think JJ should have played. Now, as far as him taking himself out, I mean, if you can't grip the football, you can't grip the football. But
Yeah, I agree. That and that's what that was my concern is that so we talked last week and my biggest thing was he needs to be smarter. He needs to learn that it doesn't have to be a physical play every play. Do I like that he's like that? Do I like the dog mentality? Do I like the fact that he lowered the boom on Keyshawn Nixon? Do I like that? Yes, I fucking love that. I want that all the time. But we have to be smart and realize that is not conducive to longevity, and that is not. There are other ways to get that mentality in there. Use it in the film room. Use it making a game plan. There's other ways to do it, and he needs to learn that. And I believe that will be the biggest takeaway from this season for him. They've talked about it already. O'Connell's talked about it. McCarthy's talked about it. That he has to be smarter in the moment. Of I don't need to be doing that all the time. The coaches don't want me doing that all the time. And I believe that will be because personally, over the past month, he has shown me he can play quarterback at a high level. He played really good against the Giants when he was in, barring a tipped interception that Jalen Nair literally had bounce off his face mask. And like he played well in the first half of that game. He had 180 yards in the first half of the game on Sunday with a hand that hurt 8.5 like with a hand he could barely grip the football with. So and he played well against Dallas. He played well against Washington, and those were bad defenses, whatever. The Packers were the backups, whatever. I don't necessarily care so much about that. He has shown me that he can go out there and produce against NFL defenses. So that will continue to grow over time. Or even if it stays where it's at, I believe you can win football games with that. Seeing how he was 6-4 as a starter, I believe you can win with that. It needs to be, you need to stay on the field.
So let me ask you this. What are your expectations for J.J. McCarthy next year after what you've seen this season?
What do I expect of him, or what would I like to see?
What do you, bare minimum, what do you think he needs to produce next season?
To continue to be the starting quarterback?
Yes.
So there's two scenarios. If it's a freak injury that's like a hip drop tackle or a low shot, a helmet to the kneecap type situation, and he plays really good before that, I would give that. Now, if he's out there, lowering his shoulder and taking hits left and right and not learning, that's not good enough for me. I can't accept that. You need to learn that you have to stay healthy. Period. End of story. You have to stay healthy. Statistically, if he plays the whole season, I expect 1, a winning record, and 2, to be in the playoffs. I don't necessarily care about the numbers. It's those two things. He could throw for 200 total yards on the season. If we're in the playoffs, I really don't care. If he's winning games, I don't care what his numbers look like. So yeah, that would be my thing. Health and winning. That's what I expect of him. If he can't do those two things, or at least one of them, and the other isn't his fault, like if they don't win, but he's putting up 350 yards a game and the defense is giving up, 35 points a game, I'm not going to sit here and go, nope, get rid of him, can't have him, that obviously. I expect them within reason to be competitive and to be healthy at the quarterback position. If he can't do that by the end of next season, I want to move on. I am a very, third year, I know what I have going into the fourth year. This is who you are. I'm not waiting around. It's not worth it to me. O'Connell's proven he can work with guys. Go get a different guy. Go just take your lick, move on, and go get another guy. Period. End of story. I don't believe that will happen. O'Connell got what for most of the season, I had been begging somebody to just hand Kevin O'Connell a bowl of humble soup. And he did. Somebody did. I don't know who it was. I don't know if it was himself, Flores, the Wilfs, Kwesi. I don't know who it was, but somebody did it. And you saw it right before the Washington game. The Seattle game was a literal smack in the face of, hey, listen, you're not God. You can't just win with anything. You do need some talent on the field. And because that Seattle game was one of the worst called offensive games I've ever seen from him. And he did it with an undrafted free agent rookie quarterback in one of the best defenses house in the NFL, like in the NFC's 1 seed's house. He had one of the most arrogant game plans I've ever seen, and that would be if he was using Matthew Stafford out there. Like, it was atrocious. And the second that game ended and they went into the locker room, from what the team said, it was a different feel. O'Connell changed. He started calling the game more strategically. He started, catering to teams' needs. And I believe that O'Connell learned from his mistakes, and he has learned that, I can't just do whatever I want. I have to do what the team needs. And so I still have faith in O'Connell. Don't get me wrong. I still have faith in McCarthy. I told somebody the other day, so I was arguing with a Broncos fan, Dalt, I'm sure you can assume who that is. And they were telling me that I was wrong about Bo Nix, and that Bo Nix is a franchise quarterback and he's so good and this and that. And I said to them that I still believe JJ McCarthy's ceiling is higher than Bo Nix's ceiling. Now, is Bo Nix currently the better quarterback? Absolutely. He's also playing in an offense built specifically for Bo Nix, to be run by Bo Nix for Bo Nix's strong suits. And that is quick decision-making post-snap and short-distance throws. That is what the Broncos do really, really, really well. They run the ball effectively, and they keep the throws quick and short, and they don't ask Bo Nix to drop back in the pocket, read the whole defense, and dissect things. It's, if it's a deep ball, Bo Nix is dropping back and throwing up the deep ball. If it's a slant, he's dropping back, throwing the slant. And it's working. Don't get me wrong. He's doing a great job. He is playing at a high level in that offense. They have the 1 seed. They deserve it. Bo Nix is playing really well. Like, I'm not saying that. But Bo Nix's ceiling is similar to a ceiling of an Alex Smith. Right? I believe he could make a Super Bowl run. I believe he could play in a Super Bowl. I do not believe we'll be sitting here at mid-February going, God, can you believe Bo Nix just put the Broncos on his back after they gave up 36 points in 3 straight games? I don't believe that. But I believe, based off what I've seen from JJ McCarthy, that in the flashes, he has shown things of, oh my God, this dude could be really special one day. This dude has a high ceiling. If he could do that consistently, he would be insanely good. Now, I don't know if he can do that. I don't know. That's a big if. That is a big if.
Riley Leonard looked really good. I hate you laugh, man. He looked really good against that Houston defense.
I'm just saying.
That's just a quick point.
I'm just saying. I think we have the Bo Nix we are seeing right now, I believe, is what Bo Nix's ceiling is. I believe this is what he is, and this is the peak of what he can be in an offense custom built for him to run it at a high level. We have not seen what JJ McCarthy looks like at that level or in that situation. Kevin O'Connell has continued to say, we're going to run mine until this past month, where he said, okay, I'm going to build it for the players. And I believe that's a really good thing. I would really like to see the Vikings make a lot of moves around the personnel surrounding JJ. We went into the season and nobody was more vocal about it than I, that this is an amazing cast and crew around him. He should succeed no matter what. And I was wrong. Straight up, I was wrong. TJ Hawkinson, not a top 10 tight end in any way, shape, or form this season. Jordan Addison, league high in drops this season. Heck, Justin Jefferson had the highest drop rate of his career, and half of them were with Carson Wentz in 3 games or 5 games. Nobody played well, and the coaching staff didn't play well. All in all, to say, this was probably the worst case scenario for the Vikings. Absolutely terrible worst case scenario. You still won 9 games. You still were half a game out of the playoffs. If this is the floor, what does the ceiling look like? You know what I mean? So that is my takeaway from the season. Am I happy about it? No. Hate it. Full transparency. If Sam Darnold was the quarterback, we're in the playoffs, because I believe Sam Darnold, if he stays healthy, which I think he would have, we're half a game better than with Carson Wentz. I believe if JJ McCarthy had stayed healthy, we're in the playoffs. Nobody played worse this other than the Bros versus Seattle game. That was the worst quarterback game in this season by anybody. Other than that game, the second worst games of the season were Carson Wentz against the Browns and the Steelers. I mean, and the Chargers game with Carson Wentz, oh my God, dude, it was abysmal. He played, I mean, he was, I'll never forget watching Carson Wentz throw the ball 6 yards backwards out of bounds for a loss of 6. Like, what? He turned went to throw a screen pass at the line of scrimmage, missed Justin Jefferson by 6 yards out of bounds. Like, what? Like, so I believe if J.J. McCarthy stays healthy, we're in the playoffs right now. We're half a game better. I mean, hell, Riley, to go to that Bears game, if the Vikings don't allow a 60-yard kickoff return for a touchdown, the Vikings probably win the NFC North. Like, it's so many ifs, ands, or buts. My initial point was, this is the floor for this team, and what J.J. McCarthy can do, it only goes up from here. So, and we didn't have a super easy schedule this season. We had a really tough schedule, so it's not like, it's like, oh no, what if we have a tough schedule too? Like, this is the worst case scenario for us. So, all things considered, I'm really looking forward to the offseason. I think we're going to have a good offseason. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm really looking forward to it. Anybody want to add anything to the wrap up of this season?
Go Cowboys.
Riley?
Go Bears. They're still playing.
Bears. Go Vikes. Riley, we will continue to cover the Bears throughout this playoff run, hopefully for a while. So
hopefully
I don't
for
know if you noticed,
4 or 5 more weeks.
I don't know if you know this, but you're covered by the logo there. If you just shrink down a little bit to
I know. I
adult's
don't
height.
know. On my screen, the logo is on the right. It is
weird.
Dalton's screen. So
No, the QR code's on Dalton. The logo has been on your side.
I don't even see a QR code.
Yeah, I've been seeing this. You've been like this. I don't know if it covers me, but
yeah, no. On my screen, there's no QR code, and it is on Dalton.
Oh, because you're on your phone?
technical difficulties.
Well, that's what we should change the podcast to, technical difficulties. NFL, technical difficulties, NFL talk. All right, ladies and gentlemen, like, subscribe. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Peace.
All right, as I said